First of all, we want to thank you for coming to our 2015 Harrisburg Bureau of Fire Awards Day. We're also going to be doing some swearing in. So at this time for the invocation, I'd like to bring up Pastor Ricardo Valsi.
Thank you for the privilege in having me here with you. I asked the deputy chief, is there any way I should pray? He said, well, you're the expert. I think given the right circumstances, we all could be experts. And so let me invite God to be with us here. Jesus, you are so amazing, beyond what we can express, beyond what we can fully understand. But in spite of our shortcomings, you love us. You love each and every person that is here and the work that you've called them to. I pray for the men and women that serves this community. I pray for Chief, I pray for the deputy and the mayor and all those who serve. Ask that you would continue to be with them as they are called and literally into the fire. I pray for protection and guidance and wisdom. And Lord, there are some that have experienced some hurt and some things that they are still dealing with. And Father, I ask that you would provide a healing of their hearts and of their minds so that they can grow, so that they can do their job with the same love that they would do it from the very beginning. Keep them consistently, keep them safe, return them home always to their families. Thank you, Lord, for providing them with the opportunity to serve this community. And I thank you and I pray in Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome the Honorable Mayor Eric Pappenfuss for the proclamation.
Thank you. As you know, we have a twofold purpose here today. Not only do we have awards and some official swearing-ins, of which I am very excited, but it is also Fire Prevention Week, and in that honor, we have a proclamation, and I'd like to read it to you. It says, whereas Fire Prevention Week was established to commemorate the Great Chicago Fire in 1871 that killed more than 250 people, left 100,000 homeless, destroyed more than 17,400 structures, and burned more than 2,000 acres. And whereas on the 40th anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire, the Fire Marshals Association of North America sponsored the first National Fire Prevention Day, deciding to observe the anniversary as a way to keep the public informed about the importance of fire prevention. And whereas in May of 1919, the National Fire Protection Association held its 23rd annual meeting and passed a resolution urging the United States government to support a campaign for Fire Prevention Day. And whereas in 1922 it was expanded from Fire Prevention Day to Fire Prevention Week. And whereas President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed the first National Fire Prevention Week on October 4th through 10th, 1925. And whereas the theme of this year's 2015 Fire Prevention Week is Hear the Beep Where You Sleep, therefore be it proclaimed that I, Eric Pappenfuss, Mayor of the City of Harrisburg, do proclaim this week of October 4th through October 10th, 2015 in Harrisburg City as Fire Prevention Week. On a personal note, I would like also to say that in a few moments I will get to swear in our new chief and our new deputy chief. The search for these two gentlemen was long and comprehensive, and I feel that we have the right leadership in place to lead this department forward. They are great men, both completely dedicated to this department and this city, and we are fortunate to have them. And to the four new recruits that we'll be swearing in a minute, I say welcome aboard. It is an honor to have you join, and you will be part of the storied tradition, which is the Harrisburg Fire Department, very soon.
Thank you. Chief Brian Airline.
I typically don't write anything, but I had to today. On behalf of the members of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire, I want to welcome everyone to our Fire Prevention Week kickoff today. Especially want to welcome Senator Dep't, Councilman Baltimore, Bob Riley from Congressman Perry's office. We also have in attendance from Senator Toomey's office and from Senator Casey's office as well. Also want to welcome Police Chief Tom Carter and Captain Moody, who just walked in and joined us. This past year has been another great year in our Fire Bureau. There are many agencies and entities that have helped us with that success. I'd like to recognize just a couple of them today. This is nowhere near being a comprehensive list, but the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency, Harrisburg Area Community College, the Harrisburg Police Department, Harrisburg Volunteer Firemen's Relief Association, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of General Services, Pinnacle Health, Community Life Team, WHBG Channel 20, the Jewish Community Center, Capital Region Water, PP&L, UGI, Consolidated Scrap Resources, and Harrisburg River Rescue, just to name a few. Our entities that assist us help us to provide for not only the city of Harrisburg, but also for the Capital Region. We've been able to achieve and maintain many successful milestones throughout the year. Training our firefighters, which we should actually be calling as all hazards response technicians, are keeping them safe. Keeping them safe is one of our biggest challenges, but it's also one of our biggest reasons we are successful. Without proper training and an emphasis on safety, we'd merely be a mediocre department, one that gets lucky on occasion, one that just gets by, and one that just sits there and says, yeah, we're firemen. We are not going to sit idly by on the sidelines of mediocrity. Mediocrity is not good enough and will not be allowed for the firefighters that protect the citizens of the capital city of Pennsylvania and the surrounding municipalities. Today we celebrate some of those milestones and successes, such as the swearing in of the 4 new firefighters, presenting many members with awards for using their training that made a difference, which means that there are several victims that are alive today because of the proficient work of those that you see before you. We're going to recognize the work of a young citizen for his quick actions in dialing 911. We also need to recognize some successes in the Bureau that there's not nearly enough awards to give for. 2014 was again a year with no fire deaths in the city of Harrisburg, the 4th such year in a row, which is setting a milestone for us without fire deaths in a city of our size. 20 Fire Bureau members completed a rigorous FEMA class in Rescue Technician, a class that was made possible with the assistance of Congressman Perry and a Federal Emergency Management grant. 12 firefighters also made a commitment to become water rescue divers. This is a commitment that went far beyond just the training and the commitment of their own time, but also their own personal money as they acquired specialized equipment for themselves so that they could serve. And serve, unfortunately, they had to just 2 weeks ago, recovering the body of a drowned victim in Carlisle. Just last week, 8 members of our Bureau successfully were promoted to driver-operator. And on September 30th, members of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire successfully led a rescue of a victim from a trench rescue in Susquehanna Township. This success was a direct result of the many agencies and municipalities working together, working as one team to safely and effectively rescue a victim that could have quickly became a casualty. We could continue with our list of successes. However, I believe that the theme should be clear to you by now. We are a team. We're a team of dedicated public servants that are committed. We're committed to ensuring that our region is protected by the most highly trained all hazards response personnel, bar none. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire is again alive and well and strong, and we look forward to a very prosperous and community-engaged future. There are many new initiatives and ideas that will be launched in the future, and we look forward to sharing a lot of those with you. However, one innovative idea that deserves being mentioned today is the thought of a regional deployment model for our fire service. In the coming months, as part of our commitment to public safety in the region, It is our goal to start to meet with stakeholders, our mutual aid partners, and our municipalities to begin the much needed conversation of a regional deployment model for the fire service. The much published decline in the number of volunteer firefighters statewide, the increase in the requirements for training, the increase in the number of calls for service, and the increase in costs of just doing business are continuing to hamper and in some cases cripple our volunteer partners throughout our region. It is time we put our municipal borders, our egos, and our outdated model of doing business in a chapter of a history book and work together towards a goal of a modern deployment model in which we can and will better protect our citizens, a job that whether you're career or volunteer, you were sworn to do. As we look forward to our commitment to the public during Fire Prevention Week, we ask that you would join us this coming Tuesday night at Fire Station 1 and this coming Thursday night back here at Fire Station 2 for our annual Fire Prevention Week open houses. We have a lot of interactive activities for kids and adults alike. We're also partnering with the West Shore Bureau of Fire and their Crew 13 to take kids from our community and give them some ideas of what it's like to be a firefighter and actually put them in some training, and that will continue to evolve as we go forward. We're here today to now recognize our award recipients. Each and every award recipient put their training, skills, and in some cases their own personal safety to test. It is something that everyone standing before you today would do given that opportunity, because each and every member of this Harrisburg Bureau of Fire is a member of our team, a team committed to providing the best service to the capital city of our great Commonwealth and the surrounding capital region. I ask that you please take some time and talk with the award recipients today, talk with our firefighters, find out what their story is, and talk about their commitment to the citizens of the city as well as our surrounding region. On behalf of the Bureau of Fire, we thank you for being part of our special day. Thank you.
Councilman Baltimore.
Good afternoon. Thank you. On behalf of Harrisburg City Council, thank you. On behalf of the citizens of Harrisburg, thank you. On behalf of the citizens of this region, thank you. And particularly on behalf of some baseball players between the ages of 13 and 18, for the fire department, some of you guys know who you are. Thanks for coming out and watering our field. You are neighbors, good neighbors to the community center here, and good stewards of our fair city. And I wanted to thank you on behalf of all of those people. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much for all the kind words there. We're going to get started with the awards. I apologize for looking down, but I don't want to mess up the wording on this because it is quite important. So the first award that we're going to start with today is the award for heroism, and it sets up sort of like this. On February 6, 2015, the fire department units were dispatched to 1616 North Cameron Street for an industrial accident. Units arrived to find a man trapped between a double-stacked trailer car loaded and a large pile of shredded, crushed cars. The individual was trapped and entangled from the waist down due to shifting and collapsing of the pile. The unusual nature of the pile and trailer set made this extraction a very difficult and dangerous task. Fire and EMS crews worked in extremely dangerous and unstable conditions to perform the rescue. Within an hour, the patient was freed and transported to the hospital. Fortunately, no responders or any others were injured during the incident except for the original patient. As stated by the incident commander that day, Acting Battalion Chief Floyd Wise, and I quote, "A fine example of our staff truly affecting the life of another and working in a low frequency, extremely high-risk scenario." And for that reason, the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to congratulate and award the Award for Heroism to Lieutenant Michael Feldman, Firefighter Charles Zavrell, Firefighter David Schock, Firefighter Corey Stone, Firefighter Scott Young, from Life Team Saul Alertus, Michael Kraske. So if they would please come up. Congratulations, gentlemen. Picture. If you guys would please stay in place. With this call, we also are giving out a distinguished unit citation for all the individuals that were on scene that day. Everyone here knows that it takes more than just one person to get a job done. And when you talk about an event like this, where specialized rescue is the task, it's very manpower demanding. So it took a lot of people. These individuals were in direct contact with the patient. Any person on this list or any person in this room would have been in that position. However, command officers have to keep some out. You have to wait your turn. There's a way we do business. So I'm going to read down a list, and as I do, you gentlemen can join for unit citations. Some of these will be repeats. Obviously, the guys are up here. Lieutenant Michael Feldman, firefighter Dave Schock, firefighter Corey Stone, firefighter Charlie Zeverell, Captain Floyd Wise, Chief Brian Airline, firefighter David Aguayo, firefighter Scott Young, firefighter William Junkin, Lieutenant Robert Lowen, firefighter John Pritchett, firefighter Jeremy Saul, firefighter Nick Bixler, firefighter Jonathan Little, firefighter Brandon Trigar, firefighter Jamie Kleckner, firefighter Timothy Strasbaugh, and from Community Life Team, Dr. Bledsoe, Chief John Brindle, Chief Brandon Shetterly, and of course Saul and Mike are already up here. Come on over here, guys. Congratulations, gentlemen. Guys, can I have you? The next award is the Reverend Dennis C. Snyder Customer Service Award. This is being awarded to some guys from the squad company, and I'll read the report. On October 18, 2014, Squad 8 was dispatched to 2466 Mercer Street for a public assist call. Two wheelchair-bound individuals were trapped in their vehicle. They had a wheelchair van. The lift mechanism was not operating properly and basically trapped them in their vehicle. They decided that they were going to try to wait it out. They didn't want to call for help. After thinking about spending the night in their van, they decided that probably wasn't the best idea, so reluctantly they called the fire department. Upon arrival, the squad crew noticed that the lift had malfunctioned, and they told them what had happened. So firefighter Jeremy Saul climbed into the van and began to try to diagnose the problem. He eventually did get it to work enough to get those individuals out of the van. So with the help of Lieutenant Skinner, they got the people out. Firefighter Pritchett then helped them get into the wheelchair and actually pushed the female to her home, up the ramp, got her situated in her home, and returned for the male patient. When he was asked if he needed help, he said no. He was very thankful. And for this reason, it's one of those things that we do more than just respond to fire calls. We do more than just put out fires and go to traffic accidents. There's a lot that goes into this. Customer service is a big part of it. That is our business. We do that probably 80% of the day. So for these guys to take their time, this was wonderful. We surely wouldn't have wanted these people to stay in their homes. So for that reason, the Dennis Snyder Customer Service Award goes to Lieutenant Will Skinner, firefighter Jeremy Saul, and retired firefighter John Pritchett. Thanks, guys. Can I take a picture? The next award is the Citizen Commendation Award. And this is given to a young man, and his name is Sean Eden, and he's located right here on front. Let me tell you a little story about what happened that night. On September 14th, 2015, Sean was walking in his neighborhood and he noticed smoke coming from the window of a home at 2932 Heather Place. Sean immediately dialed 911 to notify the fire department. He not only acted quickly, but he also provided accurate information, which a lot of times is not the case. It's a situation you don't see very often. You're scared, you're nervous, you have people ask you a bunch of questions, you really don't know how to answer them. He did a really wonderful job. The fire turned out to be unattended cooking, so a pan of meat was left on the stove. We all know it happens a lot. They go from very small, it could turn into a very big problem. He also alerted all the other neighbors, and he stayed on the line to provide information as it happened, as the fire department was coming in. The fire was unattended cooking, a pan of stove burning, which could have escalated, and which was starting to escalate to involve the entire kitchen. So without the quick and corrective actions of Sean, this fire would have caused significant more damage to the home. It's also interesting to note that it was the only phone call received on that fire. So he just happened to be at the right place at the right time and saved a lot of property and a lot of problems. So for that reason, we are proud to offer him the Civilian Accommodation Award. So Sean, could you please come up? The next award that we have, it's just more of a recognition, and it's something a little new for this year. We tried to do some different things, but this was one that we thought should have happened a long time ago, and we're really pretty proud that it's doing it now. This is the Military Service Award. The United States Armed Forces are revered as the tip of the spear in maintaining our country's freedoms. They are also known for their selfless sacrifice to promote good and restore order around the world. The men and women that have currently served or have served are true American heroes. Like the armed forces, we as public servants dedicate ourselves to coming to the aid of anyone in need. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire is rich in tradition and history in the fire service. However, we also employ currently 27 past and present military soldiers. These individuals are the definition of a commitment and truly stand alone within our ranks. These individuals are the It has been written that the military teaches the value of sacrifice, teamwork, and discipline. It shapes your life for public service. No words seem to be truer. It is for these reasons that we today introduce the Military Service Award. This award is going to be given to the members of the Bureau of Fire who have served or are currently serving in the military. They will receive an American flag to put on their uniform. We will thank them for protecting us abroad as well as standing alongside us at home. So gentlemen, whoever's in the audience for the Bureau of Fire that is in the military or was, please come up. Names, I don't know who's here. I'll read them off. You're in your program, there's a lot of them. I'll just start reading them off, whoever here's come up. David Aguayo, Cornell Bradford, Brendan Booz, Jared Briggs, Jeffrey Bully, Leon Clyatt, Michael Feldman, Justin Flanders, Ron Gallatin, William Junkin, John Matson, Jeffrey Miller, Jonathan Morrow, Eric Nallen, Brian Riddle, Glenn Satizan, Jeremy Saul, David Schock, Will Skinner, Corey Stone, Emmanuel Stout, Will Turner, Joe Williams, Sean Wilson, Michael Winsand, Cedric Yates, Charlie Zavrell. I get everybody? Will Skinner. Did I say Will? Sorry. Will Skinner. He's here somewhere. So again, thank you, gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to bring up Colonel Jim Astor. He'd like to say a few things. So if you guys would please stay here.
Good afternoon. It's certainly an honor for me to be here. I'm Colonel Jim Astor. I'm retired Pennsylvania Air National Guard, United States Air Force. I retired as the commander of the 193rd Special Operations Group located at Harrisburg International Airport. So it's indeed an honor for me to be here today and to certainly thank all these gentlemen who served in the military or are currently serving in the military, and also all of those who have served that are in the audience. Thank you on behalf of myself and ESGR, the organization that I'm volunteering with and representing, and the Department of Defense. ESGR, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, is an organization that's been around for a number of years. As an agency within the Department of Defense, we primarily work with organizations that employ guardsmen and reservists. What we do is we inform people about the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. That's the federal law that governs how an organization employs or works with an individual who's in the Guard and Reserve. Their primary requirement is to permit that person time off to perform his military training and his military service, and to protect his position when he comes back from that deployment or from that service as well. We also, one of the things that I really enjoy is we also give an individual in the Guard and Reserve an opportunity to recognize the supervisor or an employer for their support of that individual in performance of his Guard or Reserve duties, and also that support for our military members. We recognize that a military member, not only when he leaves for deployment or for service, especially over the last 14 and a half years that we've been fighting this ongoing war on terrorism, will not only have an impact on his personal being, but on his personal family, and just as well, or perhaps more so, on the work family where he works. So we recognize that, and we also want to thank the employers, especially here in South Central PA, where I've been fortunate enough to talk and go out and present these awards to a number of employers and thank them for that terrific service, that support that they give to our folks, because we can't do it alone. When you work in the Guard and Reserves and you get called up and have to deploy, and you leave that family and you leave that workplace, you want to know and be able to go forth and do your duty confident that you're going to come back to your family and to your workplace as well. So, Jeremy Saul, a staff sergeant in the Air National Guard, who unfortunately is not here today, nominated his supervisor, Chief Enterline, to receive our Patriot Award. And the Patriot Award, and this goes to not only Brian Enterline as the chief, but also to the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire in Harrisburg City. But we want to recognize them as patriotic employers for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom by supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve Force. Chief? And if I may also, I'd ask the Chief and Bureau of Fire to sign and display a statement of support for our Guard and Reserve. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. We're going to end the awards portion with the another kind of new, kind of not. In the past, we've tried to recognize our guys for years of service, and then it kind of went away, and we think it's important. And I'll read you a little thing. Today, we would like to recognize our members for their years of service with the Fire Bureau. Seniority defined broadly means the length of service an individual has been employed by or part of an organization. In the fire service, it takes many meanings like experience, respect, and stability. A fireman always remembers his first day on shift when his name became Proby and everything was his responsibility to do. Remember how excited we were when a new group was hired so we could start to count down the days until dishes and toast duty was no longer ours. We remember the discussions at the kitchen table when your every word was heard by a young fireman eager to learn. We remember the endless stories that we got to share over time so that no one's efforts would be forgotten. However, one thing we seem to forget is to embrace the thank you and the well wishes that are bestowed on us by the public that we serve. We often answer with, "I was just doing my job." And that brings us to today. The Bureau of Fire will be handing out years of service bars that they can wear on their Class A uniforms. These bars will represent to the public for how many years they were just doing their job. It is a small token of gratitude for a lifetime of dedication. Timothy Strasball is not here today. Tim is our most senior firefighter. He is in the 30-plus year club. He is the only one in that club. So he'll be getting his, but we do have some others. And as we go down through here, guys, the first club is a 25-year plus club. Fire Inspector Ron Gallatin, Cedric Yates, Byron Warner, Scotty Young, and myself. So. Guys, thank you. The 15-plus year, Lieutenant Bastinelli, Lieutenant DeVoe, Chief Steve Miller, Lieutenant Lowen, Eric Jenkins, Leon Clyett, Lieutenant Skinner, Deshaun Dennis, Emmanuel Stout, William Russo, Jeffrey Miller, Sean Wilson, Captain Floyd Wise, Dan Milan, and Chief Brian Airline. This is the 15-plus years. You're going to wonder why I skipped to 20. It's because I just realized I skipped it. So I'll go back, I promise. Captain Moody, I have to give you something to, razz me about. So there you go. So you got them all? Chief got his? All right. Thank you very much, guys. We'll go back 20-plus years. Joe Williams, Patrick Fuller, and Marty Henderson. I wouldn't. +10 years, Captain Cornell Bradford, Bill Junkin, Lieutenant Matthew Kuntz, Lieutenant Michael Feldman, Captain Jason Lloyd, Will Turner, Dave Schock, David Gilkey, John Pesky, Shakur L., Lieutenant Sadazan, Charles Everell, Brendan Booz, Heidi L. Bay, Lieutenant Aldo Morelli, and Eric Nallen. Good job. That's good. Get a picture. Thanks, gentlemen. Last but not least, our 5+ year group, John Madsen, Jonathan Morrow, Corey Stone, Bobby Jones, Jeremy Saul, Jared Briggs, David Aguayo, Billy Holtzman, and Shane Conrad. Thank you, gentlemen. Swearing in time. All right. So that takes care of the award portion of it. We're going to go to the swearing in, and we're going to start off with our 4 newest firefighters. So Tommy Cucchiero, Pablo Pasquale, Kyle Paul, and Michael Shack, if you please come up.
Swear you all in together. say your names at one time. Are you ready? I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I shall support. Obey and defend. The Constitution. Of the United States of America. And the Constitution. Of this Commonwealth. That I will do the best of my ability. To discharge the duties of my office. As a Harrisburg firefighter. With fidelity. Congratulations.
I'm going to ask one of the members of the family to do the tradition of pinning the badge on our new firefighters.
Thank you, Jeremy.
And finally, Chief Airline and myself.
We should do you separately, don't you think? You want to do it together? All right, we'll do it together. Very good. Please raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I shall support. Obey and defend. The Constitution of the United States of America. And the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties of my office. As Harrisburg Fire Chief and Deputy Chief. With fidelity. Congratulations, Steve.
All right. Pastor, come on up. Oh, retirement, sorry. Check that. They've been gone for so long I forgot them. So no, I'm just kidding. I better do that because I'll be one of them soon. Retirement acknowledgements. Over the last year, 2015, we had 4 of our senior firefighters retired, and obviously we miss them every day from the experience on the fire ground as well as just being in the fire station, and we want to make sure that we recognize them. So Connie Owens, I haven't seen, Nick Bixler, Rich Beislein, and John Pritchett. So John, if you'll come up. Now, sir. Yeah, what do you think?
In the old days, parents would pray over their children as they go out. And so today, rather than me making up something, I will rather pray and read what's appropriate for you and for all of us. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication. God bless you all.
So once again, on behalf of Chief Airline and myself, we want to thank everyone for coming out. Couple of reminders, we have 2 open houses we're really excited about, Tuesday night and Thursday night. Tuesday night in the Uptown Station, Thursday night right here, back at Station 2. This is Fire Prevention Week. We practice it all year long, but it's really kind of heightened this week, so it kind of passed the word. Want to thank everybody for coming. I also want to thank our new administrative assistant, Karen, who's taking pictures around here somewhere. She had a lot to do with setting up the stuff, so it's really fun. You're welcome to get pictures with anybody, talk to any of the firemen. There's refreshments in the back. Drive safe going home. Thanks.